I had a chance to tow with a 2021 Chevy Silverado 2500 with the gas L8T and a 2021 Ford F350, I believe, with a 7.3 liter gas. And today I have a Ram 2500 Hemi with the 8-speed ZF transmission. In case you're wondering, this truck has just under 60,000 miles. And here's the payload. 3,186 pounds, and in case you want to see the other numbers, we're going to be under on everything on this truck. So 6,390 pound gross axle rating in the rear and 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight. We're towing just under 10,000 pounds and about 1,700 pounds of hitch weight on the truck. That's actual, like 1,680 if you want to be exact. We are hooked up. Let's go ahead and top off. This truck had a full tank of fuel, so we're going to top off, get real world fuel economy. We're going up a 6% grade. We're going about 40 miles maybe. And yeah, I'm excited. I have done some towing tests in the past with this Hemi and 8-speed transmission. The only difference was I believe that truck had either 35s or 37s on it. So this truck is pretty much stock. It does have a new set of tires on it. They're Goodyear tires. I'll show them to you in a second. But I do like the Hemi so far. I've already basically towed with the truck. And one thing that I will tell you is the low end torque that you get with this engine is truly like underrated. And we are about, right now we're about 4,700 feet above elevation. I saw that a while back. I remember I think I used my phone actually when I looked it up, but we are going to be going up a 6% grade, and it's probably about 3 to 5 miles, because once you hit the top of it, I just get off at that point. But yeah, we just reset the trip back at the gas station. I topped off, so this is real world too. But this is definitely something that a lot of people are starting to really do more research on. Now, this is a 2500, which means it doesn't have leaf springs out back. It has coils, has a 5-link, multi-link, whatever you want to call it, rear suspension, solid front axle. Now, that's something I really want to hone in on, because I haven't towed with a 3/4 ton Ram in a long time. I owned one. I actually towed my 5th wheel with it. And I feel like once you get over that 2,000 pounds of weight, that's where this suspension kind of flounders a little bit. Now with this type of weight on the hitch, that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing, because that's going to make all the difference. There it is. I'm not wide open throttle, but this is wide open. This basically is the same thing. Wow. So far, out of every truck, it really does come down to the Hemi and the 7.3 Godzilla. It does. It comes down to those two engines. I'm going to be honest. Once I get my hands on a 10-speed gas engine again in the future, I'll do this test. But I'm serious, like, at this elevation, it's not enough horsepower and torque. Now, granted, I will say, this doesn't have as much, but I don't know what it is. Like, this is port injected. The Ford's F350, port injection. But the Chevy's L8T is direct, and it performs worse. But they say direct injection gives you better performance. I think it's a lie. I'm sorry, like, I'm just gonna say it. I think they're lying, man, because these engines perform better, way better, and this engine has less torque than that L8T would. Now, granted, it does have an 8-speed transmission, so we have to remind ourselves that the steps are closer, so you have basically, I call it more power in every gear because the steps are so much closer. But the stability, like I said, you can't always believe everything you hear. I feel like this truck performs better than the other two, honestly. I mean, listen, I could just be biased. Maybe I'm just being biased because I own the truck. But I'm serious, like, I need to find a guy one day to ride with me so I don't have to have anyone say I'm biased, because I want someone to see and feel what I'm feeling. This truck performs as good as the other two with that coil suspension. It really does. I'm only going 60 miles an hour, so once we get up that grade and we start really getting that 70, 75 mile an hour, you know, speed, it could change that, but it's always on the tires too. I will say the Ford that I tested, I won't really use that stability because it had some cheap tires on there and it was horrible. But this truck right now, the way it feels, it's amazing. So here are the tires. These are the Goodyear Wrangler All-Terrain Adventures. Never heard of these before. And they have it in a LT 275 70/18. And here is the capacity. 3,640 pounds, 80 PSI. And they probably only have about maybe 15,000 miles left on the fronts for sure. So you guys can see the temperatures right there. Now I did drive this truck earlier today, and I towed my trailer earlier today because I had to move it over to the location I'm at now, because I want to have, obviously, to test apples to apples. So 176 degrees at the transmission, that's really good. And then 213 is coolant, and then that oil temperature is 230. You also can see right at the very top of the miles an hour there, we're locked into 5th gear. Now I haven't seen it go into 7th or 8th gear yet, and I doubt it goes into 8th gear. If I see 8th gear, I'd be shocked. Now maybe going down the grade we might shift in, but hopefully it doesn't, because we need to be downshifting, right? That's the whole goal here. This definitely does get annoying right here. I was about to say, with these gas engines, they are cheaper, and they're cheaper to maintain, they're cheaper fuel typically. It just depends. I did splash a little bit of 91 in there. The lady that owns this truck said she just uses 85, but I really wanted it to be like at least 88, 89 personally. But yeah, 91, I think I probably put about 5 gallons in there, and this is a 31 gallon fuel tank, so I don't think I diluted it enough, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's hanging out in 4th, 5th gear right now. That's where we are. 4th, 5th gear, just shifted back into 5th. And I will admit, it is busy. Compared to even the 6-speed wasn't as busy as this CF is right now. It's like, it doesn't really know, okay, I need to be in 5th gear, or no, I need to be in 4th gear. Oh, I need to be back in 5th gear again. It just needs more power. That's all it is. It just needs more power. That's it. So we're probably about 7 minutes away from the grade, and yeah, this transmission is busy. They probably need a 10-speed ZF now with the gas engine, or just increase the horsepower so that way it can hold 5th gear more. And a lot of this has to do with the axle ratio out back. You always have to keep that in mind if you are looking to do some type of towing. If you live in Florida, you probably can get away with 373. If you live in Utah, like I do, higher elevation, you're gonna be climbing some more, you might want to just run the 410, just because it might help reduce how much this transmission is shifting. Like right now we're in 5th gear, but we're kind of going down a little bit of a hill here. It just shifted into 6th gear, but it's not going to stay there long because I'm about to go up a grade again. So if you are looking to tow with this type of truck, I would just say lock out 6th gear. That way you don't have to have all these shifts. And then once you get on more like flat level ground, you can probably lock out 7th. I would say sitting at 62 miles an hour. I would say 63 miles an hour, 5th gear, maybe 6th gear on flat ground. And you should be good, because I'm at 20, granted that is a high RPM, oof. I'm at about 2200 RPMs, 2250. So yeah, listen, this is why I like to see everything, because then you can really figure this thing out. Like if I had like a few weeks with this truck, I could figure this thing out, but like with these climbs, yeah, I would lock out 6th gear. I'd be the 4th, 5th gear maximum. That's it. Wide open throttle. It didn't drop down to 3rd. I'm at 4250 RPMs, and we're gaining speed. 69. I mean, this truck, it performs well, guys. Say what you will about Ram, but I mean, hey, that coil suspension, I feel like I have great stability. I mean, the steering on this truck is pretty heavy. The only thing I'll say is I don't like the ABS on this truck. And that's the thing about gas pickups, they are a little bit lighter on the front. So I had to slam on my brakes today, unfortunately, because a car jumped in front of me and I wasn't paying attention. I will admit, I was not paying attention. So when I looked down for a second, looked back up, I wasn't on my phone though. I was not on my phone. I was looking at my navigation, so I guess I was on my phone. I'm lying now. Yes, I was on my phone. So yes, this truck locked up and literally it was all over the road. So yes, lighter trucks do not perform as good as diesels. Like if I were to slam on the brakes on my diesel, would have done that because it's just so much more weight on the front end. In case you wanted to see, this is the infotainment 8.4-inch display, and when you go to backup, they do provide the backup lines, and they allow you to zoom into a pretty clear screen, I would say, as well. There it is. Let's go ahead and get that first measurement. It's right here. Let's use 44 and 1/4. So 41 and 1/4. That's 3 inches. Here is the 6.4 liter HEMI. It is going to have 409 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes to an 8-speed transmission, 373 rear end. Let's see how this truck performs going up the 6% grade. Alrighty, so we just made it to the grade. I'm going to drop down to 55 miles an hour. All right, we're at 56, 55, and let's go. Oh yeah, 3rd gear. Man, we're doing good. Still in 3rd gear. Wow. This could outperform that 7.3 liter gas engine. It's very possible. Very possible. I don't see how it can leave that 3rd gear though, because we'll lose miles now. Oh my goodness, we're about to hit 65. I think that's where the 7.3 ended off at. Are you kidding me? People be hating on these Rams, but I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. She is pulling. She is pulling. Less horsepower, less torque. You gotta give it to the Ram, guys. It's far exceeded the LAT with the 6-speed. And most of that fuel in the tank is 85 too. Just keep that in mind. Wow. You guys can see the fuel economy. I think we were at like 5.3 when we started. Uh-oh. Come on now. This is about where it gets really steep. That's why you're seeing it drop to 64 every once in a while. So 65 it is. Man, if you could have gone up to about 67. Whew, I think that's where the 7.3 ended off at. I think. I can't remember now. I don't have that great of memory. So wow, not only did she get up to 65, you see that transmission temp? Oh my goodness. Now it is 70 degrees outside. It's not 90 as it is with the other trucks because it rained yesterday, so it's a little bit cooler today. So even if it were 90 degrees or 100, it would probably be below 190. Ram's transmissions just perform a little bit better when it comes down to the temperatures. They just do.
Alrighty, let's see how hot that rear axle is. Okay. 180 degrees, 181. 180 degrees. Rear tires are 104. Fronts are 96. Brakes, 1.8. Wow, those are the hottest brakes I've seen so far. You can hear that fan on. Oh wow. About 660 down below. Intake is super cool over here. But yeah, those exhaust manifolds are pretty hot. It's definitely great to see this engine perform the way it did. But now, can it actually maintain speed going down a grade? Because this is more important than speed, in my opinion. So you guys see there's 63% grade. This is a 6% grade drop here. But I have it in tow haul mode, as you guys can see on the screen there. Okay. And nothing's happening. I'm actually gaining speed. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tap the brakes a little bit. There's one downshift. Tap it again. Nothing. There it is, 5th gear. Tap the brakes again. Nothing. I'm still going 70 miles an hour. Now let's see what happens if I were to put it on 65. There it is. So now it's fighting for me. But I'm going 74 miles an hour. And it's not able to slow me down, so I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. I'm gonna see if it'll drop down into 3rd gear too. Let's see. There's 3rd gear. Okay. I'm not losing any speed. And this is what I'm a little afraid of for the new Cummins. The new Cummins is supposed to be getting an 8-speed ZF power line. That's the word on the street right now. And even with the exhaust brake right now, it's absolutely amazing with the Eisen. But without the exhaust brake, the Eisen and the 68 RFE do a good job at 6 speeds to maintain and even lower your speed. And then the exhaust brake is just the gravy. But yeah, it's definitely holding the gear, which is nice. I like that. It's still sitting in 3rd gear, about 5250 RPM. I like that. But it's like the other two. It doesn't slow you down. So you're gonna have to really watch your speed with these trucks going down these steep grades. I don't miss these style of mirrors. When I had my truck, I always left them up in tow mode, and I know people always had something to say about that, like, hey man, like, why do you have your mirrors up? You don't have a tow and trailer. But you will understand when you own a Ram truck. But the newer 2023 Plus Rams do have the new revised mirrors, which are so much nicer. And yeah, you can see pretty good around the trailer with them down too, but they are better when they're up for sure. Just pulled in, 38.2 miles driven, 7.5 is what the computer's saying. Let's go ahead and top off. So here's where it stopped at. We'll wait 30 seconds and I'll show you guys where we are. So 38.20 divided into 4.986 is this number here, 7.66. So 7.7 guys, and the computer is 7.5. I am really impressed by this outdated pickup truck. Make no mistake about it, stability, fuel economy, everything was definitely low in my head. Now, the fact that I got the 65 miles an hour is phenomenal. And the reason why is because the L8T lost speed going up the grade. The 7.3 I think did about the same, maybe did a little bit better. I will be putting all this content together in a video for you guys, and then we'll basically kind of go through. But make no mistake about it, if they were to add another 30 horsepower to that engine and maybe another 40 pound-feet of torque, oh, game over. Game over. And who knows, maybe direct and port injection, game over. Absolutely game over, guys. But I'm really, really impressed by the stability, 100%. I'm impressed by that. And this does not have leaf springs, it just has the coils, as I said. I'm also impressed by the tires too. These tires, if you don't really care for a really aggressive tire, these are great ones right here. They have no noise on the highway, and the stability was great. And that's why I may have to retest that Ford 7.3 with a stock one, and hopefully it would have the stock tires, no aftermarket wheels and tires obviously, and then maybe, just maybe, it might do a little bit better going up that grade. But listen guys, if you're looking for a cheaper truck, right, they're expensive now, I would not mark the HEMI off your list. That was well over 5,000 feet elevation, well over, and it performed extremely well. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure your notifications are on. See you guys soon.